Welcome everybody to this episode of the Audacious Hot Seat, and my guest today is the fabulous Chantal Gerardy. I've known Chantal for a long time and we've done some amazing things together actually over the years, and I'm so pleased that she's here on the hot seat with us. Now Chantal, would you like to please introduce yourself? Just give us a bit of background, because I know you're from South Africa and we really want to know what you've been up to and how you've gotten into where you are now.
Hi, Lauren. Yes, I am that crazy South African woman with a bit of Italian, so the hands will go and I'll probably hit my ears out of my ears while I'm talking. But yeah, I think in November it's going to be 13 years now. So 13 years flew by. I originally immigrated from Durban, South Africa, and super grateful I did, especially if you're hearing what's going on there with the riots and that in Durban at the moment. And when I moved here at the time, I moved with my husband, and I had 3 kids under the age of 5 years. So identical twin girls that were 4 years old. My youngest is 1 year old. They're now 16 and a half, the twins, and my youngest is almost 14. So I don't know where that went. And he had a job. He was going to work. We gave up absolutely everything that we had. We had paid off cars, paid off house. I had a paid off fitness center as well. Gave it all away. Came here, had nothing. Knew no one, had nothing, no money. It was just us. And in the first couple of years, he was actually made redundant. And when he was made redundant, in fact, twice in the first couple of years, there was always that thing of, well, are we going to go back? No one really wants to go back. And I basically taught myself social media to grow my first business. So with no tech experience, in fact, I hate technology. I hate being online. So with being non-techie, with no marketing budget, not knowing anyone, and in a saturated industry, I basically taught myself how to use social media to get found, put myself out there, and to grow my business. And that was all without paying for advertising.
Wow, fantastic. What a great story. I love your story because it's such a lovely success story, you know, from absolutely nothing to rebuilding your whole life. And having moved country myself, I know the challenge in that, but doing it with, 3 little kids in tow and everything else, just, added pressure as well. So your business, I mean, your background, you were in the fitness industry, weren't you, Chantal, originally? So you basically took the learnings that you had experienced yourself in having to start a business from scratch and grow your profile and interact online to now teach other people exactly how to do the same thing. Tell us a little bit more about what made you go, well, I want to get out of doing my own business and start helping other people with theirs.
I think I'm a coach. I love to coach people. I'm an educator. I did that when I was in the personal training industry. I became a personal trainer because I was overweight and had health issues, and then got into personal training and wanted to help more people. So I think that same thing has carried through in that, as a personal trainer, setting up my business, starting my business, and then opening up my health, wellness, and fitness center. I think within 5 years of being in a country, which is huge, having absolutely no money, to then opening up a health, wellness, and fitness center, that's huge. But what I found was there were so many people in the industry who were utilizing my space, and none of them had clients and none of them had money to muck about with and to gamble on Facebook advertising. So I basically started to teach them what I knew and what I taught myself along the way, to say, well, this is how I used it. This is how I got clients. I didn't use any advertising. This is what you can do. And then I was doing both things. I was running my health, wellness, and fitness center. And then I was also supporting all these health, wellness, and fitness entrepreneurs, and I was teaching them how to do it. But what actually happened was the word got out, and I started to attract lawyers, financial planners, real estate agents, and all sort of industries. And they were going, well, hold on a sec, there's no one out there that's really sitting down and showing us practically how to do it ourselves, like you are. You're physically sitting down and practically communicating with us and showing us what to do. And that's kind of how I literally fell into it. And I just wanted to be able to support other business owners who were in the same sort of space where they didn't have a marketing budget to outsource it to someone else.
Yeah, I love it. So really, the nicest thing about your story is that you started your businesses based on a pain point that you were experiencing yourself. How important is it, do you think, Chantal, for the success of businesses, that you've got some sort of skin in the game. Do you know what I mean? You've got some internal passion for getting the achievements or getting the results that you've achieved yourself.
Look, I'm very driven and I have big goals, and I always have had them. You know, one of my biggest goals was to buy my own place, which I did last year, which I'm super, super, excited about. But one of the things that I learned, in South Africa is that South Africa, we don't have government funding. We don't have Centrelink. There isn't something to fall back on. So I think I might be a little bit more motivated than most people, because even though there's Centrelink and, you have that option here, South Africa, that is not an option. So it's like, you cannot fail. You have to make this work. You can't just rebrand, throw in the towel, or just go find a job. Like, you really do have to invest in yourself to be successful and have this happen. So for me, I suppose that's why I'm incredibly passionate about helping business owners. It's almost like there is no other way. I don't want you to throw in the towel, but you need to be able to turn your passion into profit. Because if you don't, how are you going to feed the kids? Like, how are you going to actually survive? And I suppose that's why I'm particularly driven and exceptionally passionate about helping more people.
Yeah, I love it. There's something to be said, isn't there, for having a bit of adversity in your life, because there's nothing like that deadline, that requirement to pay the mortgage or whatever it is. And a lot of people don't do it. They don't like that extra bit of pressure on there. But for you, it's been something that's really made you with what your business has become. So all of those great things happen to you, and you've grown these amazing businesses and done it really well. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced in growing your businesses?
Well, I'm going to say scalability. And I'm probably because I'm one of those people, I'm an action taker. I just jump in and I just figure it out along the way. And I've always done that. But one of the things that I also do is, because I am a coach and I consider myself a coach and an educator, I actually love being coached myself. So I always make sure that I've got good people around me and good support around me. So I jump and then I find people to help me figure it out along the way. And I would say scalability has been the biggest thing, because every single time I've got to a point where I haven't had the time to be able to have all the clients that I've generated from my business, or I haven't had team in place because I've just gone out and got all this business, but I've had no team, or I've had no systems in place. And I suppose that's one of the reasons why one of my new sort of mottos in the last year that I've come up with is skills plus strategy plus system equals simple sales, because we want things to be simple and we don't want things to be so hard. And every time I've had to scale and grow, it's been stressful and overwhelming, and it's been exhausting, and it's been, absolutely crazy. But then you've got to develop your skills and you've got to refine your strategy and have good people around you. And you have to put systems in place, because if you don't have systems in place, it'll be really difficult. I remember just prior to COVID, literally, I think it was a week before COVID started, one of the things that I'd had on my vision board was being paid to travel around and help more people. And I got this massive contract, and they were going to fly me absolutely everywhere. And I was already like about a third of the way through it. But when I was flying around and I was presenting to everyone, I was picking up even more business. But at the same time, I still had to carry on helping the business that I had and keep answering the phone and answer my emails. And I was like, this isn't how I planned. I thought it'd be all fun, traveling and having fun and helping more people. But I got so incredibly overwhelmed because I realized that I didn't have those systems in place to be able to, cope with that. But yeah, COVID stopped all of that about a third of the way through anyway. So, but I think that would probably be it. Scalability and just making sure that you've got systems and good people around you.
I love it. Those are 4 really key elements. If you haven't written them down, if you're listening to this interview, skills, strategy, system, add all those together and you've got simple sales. It does take the pressure off, doesn't it? When you know you've got a system backing you up no matter what happens. So if you are listening here to the Audacious Agency Hot Seat. We have our fabulous guest, Chantal Gerardy, with us today. And you can find more interviews like this at the Audacious Agency's YouTube channel or wherever you get your best podcasts from. Now, Chantal, there's been challenges and all sorts of things, and there's been ups and downs and so on. But what are you most proud of achieving in your business and in your life as a business owner and entrepreneur?
I think my biggest thing, of course, was getting my own place. I mean, that's always just an aspiration. Having come from South Africa, I don't have inheritance. There's no money coming my way, and I've got my 3 daughters, and I want to be able to pass, something on to them, and just help them and give them some sort of a start. And I'm really behind. I don't have superannuation. I've got nothing. So for me, it was about just getting that first property. And again, I always talk about coaches. I went and got myself a mortgage coach who could teach me how to position my money so that I was able to buy my first place. And I got it last year. So that was my hugest and absolute, wonderful thing. And so many people said to me, oh, because I've got a partner and I've been with him for the last 5.5 years. A lot of people said, "Oh, it was so nice that you're able to find someone to buy a house together." And I was like, "No, I didn't. It was my own house. I did it by myself." So that was really, a great achievement for myself. My second sort of greatest achievement is being able to obviously help my clients. I mean, some of my clients, I've had, 2 sisters who came to me, we're just struggling for absolute, for the last couple of years online and making about $5,000 to share between the two of them over the year. And without even like a Facebook page or without even a website, they actually made $5,000 in 1 week. And for me, just to be able to help people like that, to be able to show them like the income producing opportunities that they have in their social media, without them having to pay for ads. I mean, obviously that is just, makes me so happy. I mean, that really makes my juices flow.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. There's a consistent message coming through from your story and from your brand is, if you're listening to this and you're procrastinating and you're not quite kicking your goals and so on, it's probably because you've got it too easy. You need to add a little bit of fuel to that fire, make yourself a little bit more uncomfortable, start becoming a little bit more, I won't use the word desperate, but more driven to achieve your goals, and you'll get there a lot faster. So Chantal, how did the Audacious agency help you?
Oh, the Audacious agency was absolutely phenomenal. A couple of years back, I said, one of the things, I wanted credibility, okay? Self-taught. So, I had that little sort of like little Chantal in my ear going, oh, how can you transition from being a personal trainer to being this marketing person now? And, you've got all that doubt in your mindset and that. I was like, I really want to get the credibility. So I did go off and get my diploma in social media marketing. So that was a tick. I do things backwards. But one of the things that I wanted to do was get awards, because I knew that awards would be able to help me earn that credit and give me give me that credibility to be able to charge my worth, but also show how important it is. What I don't really like is that there are some people out there who say that awards are fixed or easy and you just pay money and you get an award. And that's the biggest load of BS. Awards taught me so much inside my business. In fact, when I went in and I filled out the applications, with Annette helped me through the application process, because obviously I was only going to use you guys. Went through, answered all the questions. They were challenging questions, and they really helped me be a better business owner. Just that process alone of being able to answer those hard questions that they were asking me made me reconsider some of the elements within my business. It made me dig my heels in a little bit better and actually help me become more professional in the way that I do things, because there was some stuff in there that I hadn't even considered. So it was huge, absolutely huge. And there were so many things that I honestly did learn just from the process alone. So having received those awards, and I actually still remember the first one. I actually got a no on the first one. So this is a funny story. So we may go over the 20 minutes. Funny story, but I applied for this, I don't know, Women in Business one, and, Annette helped me apply for it. And, it's not a guarantee, and you're not always going to get every award. And I said to my daughters, we're going to manifest the hell out of this. And, I wasn't making a lot of money at the time, went to like Forever New, picked out a like $300 dress and said, I'm going to buy this, wear it to the awards. My daughters got all excited. And then I got the notification to say that I didn't get it. And I got a no. And I'm not even like, it was absolutely horrific. But the lesson from that, went back to my daughters and I was like, how do I tell my daughters now? I've got this dress. Like, I've manifested it. I'm trying to teach them a lesson. I've got to know. And I was like, now what? And I thought, you know what the lesson is Not everything comes easy, and it doesn't always come the first time. One of my favorite F words is follow through. Follow through, and so many people dip their toe in, but they never follow through with the absolute gusto that they should. And I did. And then I applied for the, Annette helped me to apply for the top 100 coolest companies in Australia. And that was my first award. And I thought, how super cool is it to receive like that? I was nominated as one of Australia's top 100 coolest companies. And I actually flew down to Melbourne, met Annette down there as well. We had an awesome evening together with her partner and my partner, and had the most amazing time down there. And it was such like the best title I could possibly ever have and add to my, repertoire, as opposed to, I don't know, the women's whatever that I would have received. So there was even a lesson and a learning in that.
I love it. Well done. What great stories. And success is amazing, isn't it? It comes in all sorts of different shapes and formats. So well done. That's fantastic. What I loved about your story was those words you used. Not everything comes easy. If there's anything anyone would take out of this discussion that we've had today, is you have to work, you have to put the effort in. I love the fact that you've got that great blend of manifesting and setting goals and doing the work, as well as encouraging your family and your girls and your children to be part of it as well, which is so extraordinary. So if we could go back now, Chantal, into your past and meet you somewhere, what advice would you give yourself way back then that might have helped you?
I mean, my favorite motto in all the world is just do it. Like Nike that is my favorite one ever. So I absolutely love that. So if I went back, I would say probably just to focus on mindset. I probably focus on mindset a little bit later in life than I possibly could have. I have that internal drive, and that probably comes from a scarcity mindset because of South Africa and, my upbringing. And I've had to do work in that in the last, couple of years on that scarcity mindset and that money mindset, because as you make more money, you actually have to spend more money. I've now got a team of 7 and I've got to pay 7 salaries at the end of every week. And you can't have a scarcity mindset to do that. You have to have an abundance mindset. So if anything, I probably would have said to myself, yes, you can just do it. But also just work on your mindset, because that's a muscle. And you have to work that muscle, and you've got to train that muscle to stay strong.
Brilliant. I love it. Such good messages and all of these things. I love it. Thank you so much, Chantal, for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the hot seat. And I'm sure everyone who's been listening today will start to think a different way about adversity and, making sure that you are really putting yourself out there and making sure that you are accepting the challenges that come your way, because good things are out there. They come to those who have those strategies and they work hard to get them. Thank you so much, Chantal, for being here. If you want to get in touch with Chantal, she's extraordinary with what she does. A link will be underneath the interview to her business, so you can get in touch with her. And thank you again for being in the hot seat, Chantal, and we wish you all the very best.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.